I was born and raised in this neighborhood. I live on 49th Street, right around the corner. I grew up coming to this library. I learned how to read at this library. I kept pool in the summer in that pool right there that's also scheduled to be closed right now. So I know a lot of us are from here, have spent our lives in this neighborhood, and it's time for us to come together. So I was deeply concerned when I heard that this library was scheduled to close. Partly because I remember that when Mayor Nutter ran for election, he ran on a platform of transparency in government. He said we were going to be involved in decisions. Now, were any of you involved in this decision to close this library? A bunch of people made this decision behind closed doors.
That's right.
So one of the things that we need to demand is that before any cuts are made to any pools, to any libraries, to any fire stations, that there be an open community process that engages all of the city. I know our city is in hard economic times, and I know there's choices that are going to have to be made, but closing libraries is the wrong way to go.
That's right.
Mayor Nutter also had goals about increasing college graduation and decreasing high school dropouts. How are we going to do that without libraries? When people are short on jobs, where do they go to look for jobs? If they don't have internet access at home, they come here to the library. So this library provides a critical resource to our neighborhood. Closing it is the wrong way to go. Now, why did they make that decision? They haven't really given a lot of reasons about why they're closing what libraries. The only thing I can think of is that they thought that they could walk over the people of Southwest Philadelphia. They thought we were not organized. But they thought that we would sit there while this happens and not do anything. So it's time for us to show them that they are wrong.
Yes. All right.
A couple weeks ago, I know I was out there in the streets, and a lot of people were out there in the streets for this election because we were about electing somebody that we think was going to make change. But what we have to remember is that electing somebody by itself is not going to make that change.
That's right.
The change is up to us. So we're about doing a lot more. If we're serious about the kind of change that we talked about a few weeks ago, now is the time to prove it.
Yes. Right.
Now is the time to get behind those words. Now is the time. We need to be here today, but if they don't hear us today, we may have to go down to City Hall and make sure that they hear us. People want to go back to City Hall. So I'm closing. I want to say a couple of things. One, that no cuts should be made to libraries till all options are considered. There's a lot of other options, right? We can keep this library open with volunteers. How many people here will be willing to volunteer for their library? All right? There won't be any need to make cuts until we consider all of our options. Second, there should be no cuts to anything until there is an open community process, right? It's time for us to come together with the folks in Roxborough who are concerned about losing their fire engine. It's time for us to come together with the people from Fishtown that are concerned about their library. It's time for all of us to come together and demand an open community process to decide how to deal with these issues. And if we aren't heard today, remember, change is a process, not an event. We're going to have to go down to City Hall and make sure they hear us. Thank you.